Now, Stu Taylor.
All right, I bid you all a good day as we open up direct from Egypt. And our first guest, Ayman Farouk Taha. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And he is the author of Vicious Circles. The book is published by Author House. You can go to authorhouse.com, barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com. It's available in paperback, hardcover, and ebook. And Ayman, welcome to the show. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
All right, you got a great title. Some titles just stand out and they hit you right in the face. I love the title, and I won't go into why. I just think it's a great title. It's enough to attract a lot of attention. What is the book about, and what's the origin of the title, Vicious Circles?
Actually, the book is comprised from 15 short stories. It's about life in general, our self-made presence or self-made boundaries we live in. From what I see in life, a lot of people are living their lives in circles, actually. They just go around and around. They live as if they are tied to something they don't see, and sometimes they don't even know or understand. This is from where I got the ideas of my stories and eventually the ideas of my book.
Are these stories fictional in nature, or are they derived from real events, real people?
15 stories are fiction. It's a whole book of fiction. They have nothing to do with real characters or something. But the stories or the subjects dealt with in the stories are from our real life. So it's a total fiction. Nothing, no personalities from real life, but it's about humans everywhere.
All right, give us some examples. Maybe you can demonstrate the symbolism here of Vicious Circles by relating it to one of your stories and relate that to the audience. Can you do that?
Yes, actually, the first story of my book is about someone who is not capable of dealing with his new ideas. He just come up with a great idea, and then he becomes afraid of going on. So he just leave this idea to go away or to shade away, and he remains the way he is. So he is not making any progress in his life. So the character itself is, of course, it's a fictional character or something, but the idea is about about humans everywhere.
Why do you think, Ayman, that people typically, and I hate to use the old Einstein saying, if you continue to repeat the same behavior and you get the same results, it's the definition of insanity. Why do you think people continue to follow this mode of behavior and don't learn from their past experiences and basically, for the most part, just continue to go in circles?
Because sometimes they don't understand, they don't know that the reasons or the reasons behind their behavior. They just keep doing it again and again and again. They think that they are trying to do something, but they don't go deep inside themselves. So they have to understand themselves first. They have to understand, the basics or the deep understanding of themselves is gonna make them move forward and so on. So most of the time they don't know or they don't understand themselves.
You talk about a lot of issues. You ask a lot of questions in the book. People look for closure in life. They look for answers. Yet in many of these instances, you don't provide answers. Why is that?
In a lot of cases, I was more interested in discussing the ideas, not providing answers, because everyone may have different answers or different approaches. Yet the deep discussion and deep analysis will lead everyone to make his or her choices based on solid grounds. The more you ask and discuss, the better answers you get, of course, as long as you are asking the right questions. So I was not trying to impose answers to everybody. I was just trying to motivate everyone to think and to ask him or herself the right questions.
You wrote this in the form of short stories. You didn't do this as a novel. You didn't do it as a non-fictional book. Did you grapple with deciding how to do this, or was there a specific reason why you chose short stories?
Actually, I chose the short stories because this is my first experience in the fiction writing world. So I felt that I can express my views and feelings through short stories better than expressing them through novels. You know, by nature, a short story is more condensed and more focused than a novel, and it has fewer number of characters, places, and events, which made me more capable of handling the communication of my thoughts to the readers. Maybe in the future, I decide to write novels, but in all cases, I won't quit writing short stories. Actually, because I like short stories, and I think they are a reflection of our fast-paced daily life, if you can see it.
Maybe the same answer pertains to the subject matter. You've already explained very eloquently why you write short stories. Is that the same
Yeah.
reason? Because this is your first writing experience? You want to cover a broad range of subjects that you write about everything love, dreaming, thinking. You cover many, many topics in your short stories.
Yes, this is one reason. The other reason is because you know the circles we are living in, actually most of the people living in, are related to several issues or things. So sometimes they are related to some place, time, event, our souls, our bodies, a certain connection. So the broad range of the subjects was a reflection to the broad range of the vicious circles we are struggling with in our lives.
You know, you've obviously used a lot of introspective abilities by looking into this. Uh, is this is this society we live in, which is so fast paced, which has so many rapid changes, does this make it impossible for us to reverse or extinguish these negative behavioral patterns of going in vicious circles? Has it become almost impossible, Amon?
Actually, there is a will, there is a way. If we want to change, we can change. But first, we need to understand what is preventing us from this change. Is there some kind of a wall or some kind of burdens that is preventing us from moving ahead and so on? So we have to understand. And the first, after that, there is a will, there is a way. Yes, we can change.
Uh, could you talk a little about your writing style and how these stories were initiated? Did they just pop into your mind, or is this something that was really well planned out?
Actually, sometimes I just wrote and then found out how the story evolved line after line. I'm not a professional writer, this is my first experience. Honestly, most of the times I wrote without having a clear idea in mind, just a glimpse or a spark or something. The more I wrote, the more and the more I put my mind into that glimpse or that spark, the clearer the picture became. Maybe in a couple of cases, I had clear and solid ideas before I started writing, but in most of the stories, this was not the case. I just had a glimpse and then I started building on it.
Are you uh, thinking of following up this book with another book? Has this initiated other thoughts into your mind? And if so, is it predicated on the response you've gotten from this book?
Actually, I started already working on another group of short stories, I'm taking it one step at a time. I want first to know the response, the feedback of the readers, and after that, I will decide upon my next step.
All right. If somebody were to read this book, what would be the specific message or point you'd like them to get out of it? Is it to be self-reflective and to make a change in their lives?
Yes, try to make a positive change in your life. Try to understand yourself first, and then everything is possible.
Okay, we've got about a minute to go, and I know you have a lot in this book. Do you have a concluding statement that you'd like to make to our listening audience as to why they should buy the book that you haven't covered in this Q&A?
Actually, one thing, there is a will, there is a way, and yes, we can change if we want, if we really want.
All right, it does take a real effort to self-empower yourself to do it, and then there's the issue, of course, of sustainability. The book which sounds fascinating, is Vicious Circles. It's by Ayman Farouk Taha, Taha, and it's published by Author House. It's been a delight, sir, having you on. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
All right, this is Stu Taylor. More when we come back.